let's talk about protection now a little bit, darlings. So, first of all, your biggest protection is knowing that you're capable of taking care of business, knowing that when the time comes to do so, you will deal with whatever comes up as it comes up. There is no point, I don't think, coming into the craft trying to anticipate every terrible thing that could happen and thinking about how much you want to avoid that. Just in the same way as there's no point in pursuing a career path in something and spending your whole time misusing your imagination, thinking about this could go wrong, that could go wrong, I could look like an idiot, I could get fired, it could be horrible, oh my God, you know. If you've decided that you want to move boldly forward into this, then there is no point misusing the imagination too terribly much, okay? So really, I would recommend that you think about all the fucking times that something has happened that was not in the script, it wasn't in the brochure, it wasn't what you wanted, it's unfortunate, it's scary, okay? Anything like that. Think about all the times something like that's happened in your life or in your spiritual path, or in your, your life in general, and you've dealt with it. You dealt with it. You put some things in place. You learned some tools to help yourself. You reached out for advice. You pulled yourself together. You healed from it. You came to a better understanding of life as a result of it. So if there is the possibility that a deity comes into your life and you think you're doing a happy dance with it, and then you turn around and it's like some grotesque thing that's trying to wreak havoc in your life, you will fucking deal with it like you've dealt with everything else you've done in your life. And again, I'm not talking to those people who know that they really don't feel they can discern what is a deity and what is like a horrendous spirit demon thing that's trying to hurt you. I'm not talking to you. If you know that you really can't figure it out, then sit it out, definitely, no question. But if you are someone who's like, yeah, usually I can discern what's fact from fiction, usually I'm pretty good at that, and you know what, if I do make a mistake, which is only human, I have dealt with it, I've healed from it. If you're that person, then I would say that's your biggest form of protection, is to know that, witness that power in yourself. And I would say, as an aside to that, do not continue to listen to teachers or read resources or continue with conversations where you feel that that belief in yourself is being stripped from you in some way. If you know that you have generally a belief in yourself that you can discern what doesn't feel groovy, what doesn't feel tasty, and move away from it, then why are you engaging in conversations where someone's trying to say, no, you don't know how to discern that? No. You need to have been doing this for 5 years before you can discern that kind of thing. If you know that's not true, and you know you're in readiness, you can start doing the fandango now, as far as I'm fucking concerned. Again, this is my paradigm. There's going to be people listening to this that don't agree, and that's fine, but this is my video, my paradigm, my channel, my time, okay, to chat. I've written here in my notes, before you've even done any protection magic, any protection ritual, anything like that, make sure you're not constantly ingesting the kind of advice that makes you feel small, incapable, unworthy of what you want to experience. The next thing I want to say is that protection magic, I think, is the type of thing that you could really do with very deeply customizing. So, earlier when I said that if a teacher is telling you that you really shouldn't do something and you really need protection, the best thing for that teacher to then do would be to reveal to you what you can do to protect yourself. They shouldn't be keeping the keys from you. That's just not good teaching, in my view. So, that there's that. But then once you've received the information about how that person protects themselves and how they manage to work safely with deity, feel free to customize it, because protection magic, I think, is a lot to do with your sense of power. It's knowing where your strong center is and that you are capable of doing whatever it is you're about to do. It's not just about making sure that the energy around you is free and clear of anything that, is yucky or bad or counterproductive. It's not just about that. I think it's also about, it's got to be about mindset, and it's got to be about you knowing that you are agile and in readiness for what it is that you are about to achieve with speaking to deity or doing a spell or whatever the fuck it might be. Protection magic or protection preparation for ritual, anything to do with protection, I think should be customized, because if you don't feel by the time you've done that protection spell or, you've set that protective energy, if you don't feel protected by the end of it, it hasn't worked. So if somebody is online and they're saying best thing to do is sage everything, then you turn around 3 times and you touch your nose. That's the best thing. I've been using it for 20 years. It's the best thing. Then you go and do that and you don't really feel any more protected than you were before. I think that's an issue. I really do. I think that you've got to feel it. You've got to know it. For me, recently, I figured out that I had to do some protection work. I had to really set a strong protective intention and seal that protective energy around myself. And the most potent thing I could think of to do was to play very loudly through my speakers The Power of Love by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. And I sang it through, and I put my hand on my heart and I fucking belted that song out. I'll protect you from the hooded claw, keep the vampires from your door. When the chips are down, I'll be around with my undying, death-defying love for you. That fucking song is just beaut. Oh my God. Little aside, my mum was listening to that song in the kitchen when I was a teenager, and I walked in and she turned around and she said, "Darling, if it doesn't feel like this, it isn't love." And I was like, wow, thanks for that sage gnosis there, Mum Ra. So yeah, I did that. That was the protection spell that I needed. Does it make sense to any other witch on the planet? I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I knew by the end of that I could face down a bastard poltergeist. Like, I had no fear. It filled me with such fuel that I knew that I was so high vibe that nothing with ill intention could fucking touch me. As long as you know that it's worked, okay? Another thing that I do is I say certain words every day before I leave the house, pretty much. I always think of Joan of Arc while she was on trial saying, "I'm not afraid, I was born to do this," because something about those words changes me at a cellular and energetic level. The words themselves shift my energy so that if something was to come close to me that wanted to psycho-spiritually bite my neck, it would back off, because that's like garlic, you know? Another thing that I say, it's a quote from the movie The Thin Red Line, which I love beyond words. And in the movie, these words are said: "Why should I be afraid to die? I belong to you. If I go first, I'll wait for you there on the other side of the dark waters. Be with me now." To me, that's like a fucking prayer. Those words just travel all over my body and I say them. And by the end of saying them, I'm unafraid. And I know that nothing is a match for me. Nothing is a match for me that I'm about to do in my magic or ritual. No portal that I could open would bring through any demonic tentacles big enough and ugly enough to fuck with me in that moment. I think that's a really important thing that is often overlooked about protection magic. And I want to extend that advice to you for anything, not just the worries about working with deity and wanting to make sure that things are on lock with you before you call anything through, but just in general, anything, baby cakes, anything. Try and think about, if you really fucking feel your protection magic, do you really feel the protection you set for yourself? You know, does it change the way you walk? Does it change the way that you enter into sacred ritual or magical practice? If you're just taking what somebody else has said works for them, but it makes you feel no potency, it makes you feel no toughness, no moxie, you know, then has it worked? That's my question that I would leave you with. I have a dear friend, who just recently moved into a new home and said that they felt that there was some weird energy in there, some nasty energy in there. And I went round and I did some chanting in the room where the energy was. But I also said, upon leaving, my friend had a picture of a family dog who's passed away now, that dog was so important to my friend. And the dog is a Rottweiler, a guard dog. And I said to my friend, you need to put that picture on the wall in the room as well. You've got a guard dog in the home. Why is it not on the wall if you're not feeling safe? And my friend has not felt any weird shit going on in that flat since. That's alchemical. Something that matters that much to him. You know, that was his family guard dog that he grew up with. So of course, put that dog on the wall, then already you're creating a shift. You're making sure that, like, that guard dog, honestly, would know if my friend was like thought they were fucking with a deity and it was really a demon. That guard dog would know straight up and just be like, whoa, off you trot. You know, that's what the guard dog is there for.